that you might put Boomer in the subs vest. Have you made a decision on that?
No, we haven't. We always leave that right until the last minute, but it's an option. I mean, it is an option. I mean, I said last week that we wouldn't do it because he wouldn't allow it, but 347th game, he's still got to do as he's told. So we'll do the best thing by the team there, and he's more than willing to do the best thing for us to win.
What would the benefit be of putting him in the subs vest?
Oh, I think it'd be a nightmare for the opposition coach. If it were me in an opposition coach's shoes, I'd be worried about when he's going to come on and what we do about it. So, but I think, look, the team's been functioning reasonably well, and it's created a welcome selection headache this week with him coming in. And unfortunately, we lose Grimer, who hasn't come up. We'd love him to play because he's in really good form, but one in for Grimer out for Harvey Inn's made our job a bit easier.
Is that a genuine thing? Do you think being able to inject a player, I mean, how the subs evolved over the past little while, is it a genuine tactic that you could use to inject a player of that calibre into the game? What would that do to the game?
Yeah, no, I think that's already been the case over the last 12 months or so as things have evolved and teams have worked out that the impact of that sub. And when fatigue really sets in late in the game, to have a fresh player, I think we've seen over the last, I think it was Matt White in the Richmond Fremantle game, he came on and had a huge impact, created a bit of controversy for everyone, but had a significant impact with his speed. So the sub role is going to continue to evolve, and Boomer's been saying that for a long time that he'd be a perfect sub, but he's not prepared to do it till he's about 38 or 39.
Do you expect his time out of the game to have any effect, or do you expect him to be straight back to his first?
No, history says that I know he has missed a lot of footy, but even when we've given him a lighter pre-season load, as soon as he comes in, he performs really well. So, and he's trained really well. I mean, coming back from suspension is very different, obviously, to coming back from injury. So he's trained really well. He's fitter than he's ever been. He's just a remarkable athlete, and we expect him to come in and do what he's done over a long period of time.
He mentioned the other day that he has a new appreciation for you guys after watching in the box for the last 6 weeks. Is that something you think that he will pursue after his footy career?
I think he should. Because he's got a hell of a lot to offer the game of AFL footy. I've been really impressed with him the last 2 or 3 years in playing a mentoring role for our young players, and he's got a unique football brain, and he really understands the game and sees things from a different perspective than I do at times, which is really healthy, and it's helped broaden my horizons as well. So I think when he eventually retires as a 350, 400 game plus player, I think it'd be a shame to lose him to the game. So I'd encourage him to pursue the off-field side of footy once he's finished playing.
In terms of the game as a whole, is there any danger? Most of the games you've gone in previously this year you've been underdogs, whereas this one you're probably expected to win pretty well. Is there a particular challenge in that as well?
I suppose there is, but we don't look at it like that. We look at, they could easily start in their midfield with Boyd, Cross, Griffin, Cooney, Liberatore, Gene Syracuse. It's a fair list. When you look at Griffin, Murphy, Gene Syracuse and Markovic coming in, there's some quality coming in, and they've got great young talent. They've had good access to young talent with the father-son rule with Liberatore and Wallace. So, you look at their team on paper, and I'm a little bit staggered that they're not, they don't have a lot more wins to their name. But we expect their best this week, and we've got great respect for them. So we've got to make sure we hold our end of the bargain up.
Is this a game you really have to win, considering that you've had these first few hiccups, I guess, at the start of the season? Is this a real danger game in that sense, in the context of your season? Oh,
it's a danger game, but we don't have to win it any more so than we have to win next week or the week after. So I think it's more for the pundits on the outside to talk about must wins. I'd like to. I've never asked the question: is this a game you can afford to lose? We want to win them all. So what we've got to focus on is the things we're doing really well, and make sure we continue to do that, and polish up a few areas of our game that need tidying up.
There's sort of, I guess the Dogs in recent weeks have been a bit inconsistent. Does that keep you guys even more on toes? Their performance against Geelong compared to their performance against the Eagles last week, you don't know sort of what to expect, I guess, in a sense?
No, well, there are a lot of things they're actually doing really well consistently. They rank in the top 5 for clearances, top 5 for contested ball. That's a hallmark of Brendan McCartney coached teams. Even his time at Geelong, he really coached the young guys there really well in that area. So, we expect, we also sit pretty high up in contested ball and clearances. So, it's going to be a genuine contest and a real scrap. And if we're not ready for that, we'll get exposed. So, we're in for a contest, and I think that the results have been a bit inconsistent for the Bulldogs, but in terms of their ability to win the ball, it's been consistently good.
I was going to say, nice to have Drew Petrie's photograph on the paper.
Sorry?
Did Drew re-sign?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I missed
You
your.
scared me there.
I missed the point, Tony.
sorry.
But yeah, autograph through me. No, it is. It is. I mean, it's great that our players are are willing to commit and to commit. We really wanted Drew to be around for a minimum of another 2 years. So while it is a little unusual that you re-sign a player for 2 years when he's into his 30s, we see Drew as a vital member not only of our present, but of our future. So he's got a vital role to play on and off field over the next couple of years and hopefully beyond.
Just I noticed in the emergencies, Hanson's there. Is this pretty much a case of Dore and Black pretty much keeping him out, and this is, I guess, a bit of a challenge for Lockie to sort of break his way back into the team?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I've said for over a month now that we've got players available now and in good form who can play in those key position slots. So we'll continue to pick the team that we think is going to give us best chance of winning each week, and healthy competition's good. So Lockie's fit and available, but Majak and Blackie and obviously Drew are keeping him out at the moment, and Robbie Tarrant we think's knocking on the door and won't be far away from being fully fit next week as well. So that's a good problem to have, and we'll just keep picking players on form.
Even though the team got off to a slow start to the season, can you see some advantages in the fact that the spotlight's sort of off the group for a certain amount of time and you can sort of fly under the radar a little bit?
No, we don't. As a club, we don't want to fly under the radar. We've done that for a while, so we like being front and centre. And I acknowledge the point. I mean, in terms of win-loss, it has been a slow start, but I would argue that we're playing some of the best footy we've played over the last 4 years. So, that's resulted in a couple of close losses, and that's been as a direct result of some lapses in concentration. So, if we fix that up, we think we can compete against anyone.
Just a comment on the milestone man, I guess, this week, Ferrito and Thompson.
Yeah, it's really, really important week for us to acknowledge the contribution that those guys have made to our club. Both Spud and Scotty Thompson epitomise, what it is to be North Melbourne people. They're great examples to all our players. And as I said, they are true North Melbourne people. They never say die. They've got great attitude. They'll fight until the death out in the ground. And probably a bit reflective of our club. They're great people, but their talents probably do fly under the radar a little bit, because both Michael Ferrito and Scott Thompson are quite outstanding footballers, whereas people on the outside probably consider them great fighters, and great battlers. The truth is they're better than that, and that probably reflects our team a bit.
So much is made of culture and spirit at this football club. It has been for decades.
Yeah.
Do you think that any team coming up against a team like yours with milestones like that should be worried? Is it something that you will use in motivating the players?
I won't need to use it. The players will want to show due respect to our champions. And Ferrito will certainly go down as a champion of our football club, and Scotty Thompson in his 100th game is well on the way to achieving that status. So our guys know the importance of it, and they'll be doing their utmost to make sure they pay them their due respect.
I know you might be a bit biased, but would you say Scott Thompson's sort of in All-Australian mode at the moment? I know it's only 6 rounds in, but...
Yeah, I think he deserves to be in contention. Yeah. It's a long season, and Scotty's had some terrific results and played some really good footy, but you don't pick at the end of round 22, we don't... Very rarely do you look at the first 6 rounds and make a decision based on that. So he's got to continue his form, but we've got confidence in him because his preparation's been really good, and he's continuing to play our style of footy, which is fantastic.